Here at 90.7 FM and WFUV.org. Darren DeVivo with you, and I've got a couple of guests. They've been here before to WFUV. It's always a pleasure to have these guys back. Two of the members of one of the great bands out there right now, the Drive-By Truckers, who are back with a new album that is out today called Go-Go Boots, and it brings me a great deal of pleasure to welcome back to WFUV Patterson Hood and Mike Cooley from Drive-By Truckers. What's happening, guys?
Hey, good to be back.
Congratulations on another dynamite record. And you guys kind of fall into the category for me that if there was any justice in the world, the Drive-By Truckers would be right up there with some of the great American rock and roll bands, and everybody would know who you guys are rather than kind of being like a kind of slightly under the radar thing.
Right.
For lack of a better way of putting it.
Yeah,
but, that might be justice within itself. You know? I've seen what happens to those people. I don't know if I want it.
Yeah, we might be better off with our cult.
But very quietly, you guys have amassed one heck of a discography. And now you add this new album. Before we talk about Go-Go Boots and all things Drive-By Truckers, you guys play something live?
Sure, absolutely. So. When all your good days keep getting shorter, count on me. When you're about 20 cents shy of a quarter, count on me. Just need a place to hide out for a while. I'll help you hide the bodies in a little while. I'll bring you buckets of mercy and hold your hand when you're crossing the street. I'll bring a song if you want it. And if you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, call on me. And if you're feeling that freight train running through your head, call on me. And if you just need a friend to talk to, or maybe not talk at all, I will bring you buckets of mercy and put a smile back on your pretty face. I'll bring a shovel if you want it, and carry your secrets to my grave. When you're down and out, I'll pick you up down at the station, give you a hard time some vacation, get you headed on your way.
Starting off at the end there with the finale to the new album, Go-Go Boots, which is out today. That's called Mercy Buckets, and it's Patterson Hood and Mike Cooley from Drive By Truckers, my guests here at WFUV. And before we talk, just let everyone know that the guy's going to be on Jimmy Fallon tonight, and will be playing at Bowery Ballroom, and then Thursday night in Peekskill at the Paramount Center for the Arts. The album just came out. They were already on the road for the Go-Go Boots Tour 2011. I guess the tour never ends, though, actually.
God,
right?
it really doesn't. Yeah, we finished the Big To Do tour New Year's Eve here at Terminal 5.
That's right. You did the
then
big...
we had like a week and a half off before we kicked off Go-Go Boots.
That's funny. That's funny. How'd the New Year's Eve show go?
That was great.
That
must have been so fun.
Fun night.
We had my dad came up from Muscle Shoals and played with us, and Kelly Hogan came over and sang with us, and we had a horn section and the Bindlestiff Family Circus, and it was a big to do.
It was. You ended the Big To Do tour with a big to do, and you mentioned you just got off the road a couple of months ago from promoting that album, which is less than a year old. These days, you don't tend to see too many bands, whether they're bands or individual artists, putting out music so frequently. I mean, back in the day, it happened. What was that?
I'm starting to wonder what we were thinking.
I mean, back in the day, you had like Creedence Clearwater Revival would do like 2, possibly even 3 albums a year, but that was a contractual thing.
They were younger too.
Yeah. It's weird. You know, we went in the studio. It's actually, I guess, 2 years ago this month that we went in and just started recording, and we ended up with like 40 songs, and we kind of knew early on that we were making 2 records. It just kind of felt that way. We had these 2 very distinctly different groups of songs, and we would just go in, and it was kind of a lot of fun in the studio because we'd go in and just whatever mood we were in, that's what we'd work on that day, and and the Big To Do was kind of a more straightforward rock record, and we kind of knew we wanted to put it out first, and the Go-Go Boots record was this kind of weirder left turn, dark road record, and so we just kind of, after we finished Big To Do, whenever we'd get a little time off, we'd go in there and work on Go-Go Boots a little bit on the side until we had it like we liked it, and here we are putting it out. But what we didn't really think through is that we just finished touring behind that record, and now we've got a new record to work, and so that was a little bit of it's like, oh, okay, this is why people don't do this anymore.
Were you doing any of the Go-Go Boots songs live like last year? And
a little bit.
A little bit. We'd like do a little preview, like a song or two, a night, something like that, kind of preview them for the last few months. And mainly to get us a chance to we don't get to practice because we're on the road all the time, so it kind of gave us a chance to kind of be working that show up, that and sound checks and stuff. We'd be kind of working on this project, doing that. So.
Right. That was the thing that struck me immediately about the album. Right off the bat, you knew that this is a little different than what you tend to be used to from the group. Was there a concern that maybe some people who just found you guys, that this might be a little jarring, this change in, however subtle it was?
It's as good a first album as any, I guess.
Yeah, it's weird because I thought this one was going to be kind of the tougher sell of the 2 records, and this is the one that everybody's really gravitating to.
I was surprised with that too.
Yeah, I figured, I kind of hoped that we could just kind of ride on the coattails of the last one and it make it okay, but actually this one's already kind of gotten a bigger reaction than the last one got, so. You never know. You just never know until you throw it out there and see what happens.
Just when you think you have it all figured out.
Yeah.
Right. Everything changes.
Very excited that Patterson Hood and Mike Cooley are here from Drive By Truckers. Got another song for us?
Yeah.
Do Pulaski.
Okay.
One, two, three. She was fresh out of college, first one in her family to go. In California seemed like heaven. Pulaski, Tennessee was her home. Worked on losing her southern accent, turned her back on her Baptist ways. She bought some clothes that barely covered her fair skinned body, went to Nashville and caught a plane. Well, the clouds that rushed beneath her as the LA smog filled the air. And she smiled when the airlock opened. The Pacific breeze blew through her hair. Thought about the boys from Alabama, came into town every Friday night and drank beer out of great big glass quart bottles, left their trail of blood and tears behind. She thought the men in California would be different. She'd grown up watching them on her TV. But the men she came to know in California left her longing for Pulaski, Tennessee. Good ideas always start with a full glass, and just breathing here can make a girl's nose bleed. Dreams here live and die just like a stray dog on a dirt road somewhere in Tennessee. Storefronts are all filled up with eyeballs as the policemen clear out the street. Or a line of cars with their headlights burning, driving slow through Pulaski, Tennessee.
Mike Cooley and Patterson Hood from Drive-By Truckers with us live here at WFUV. Mike singing lead on that one called Pulaski, which is on the new album out today called Go-Go Boots from Drive-By Truckers. And the first tune they played live, it was Patterson on lead. Now, the two of you are the Lennon and McCartney of the Drive-By Truckers and the main songwriters. What was that?
I'm the cute one.
And that'd make you the McCartney, I believe.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a trade-off. I'll make you the dead one.
I want to be Ringo. Why can't I be Ringo? Where's Ringo, anyway?
With the two of you writing tunes, when it comes time to then assembling an album, I mean, what is the process, if any, that goes into choosing Mike's songs, Patterson's songs, or are they finished when you're in the studio? How does that whole work?
Most of the time they are. It's pretty easy. It comes pretty natural. If it doesn't, it breaks up the band, usually.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't work if we didn't like each other's songs and kind of respect where each other's coming from, I think. But, I'm always, my favorite parts of the night are the parts where he's singing and I get to, back him up, really.
So it gives us both an opportunity to play both roles. And I mean, I really feel sorry for people who have to sing every song every night of a tour.
Right. Now, you mentioned that these tunes come into the studio. You're pretty much done. They're pretty much finished.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you write separately, or do you collaborate?
Yeah, separate.
Always separately,
Yeah.
the two of you? Yeah.
Yeah, and pretty much he'll bring in a song, or I'll bring in a song, or Sean will bring in a song, and play it for the band, and then everybody kind of just knows what to do. I mean, there's really hardly ever a time when anyone tells anyone else what to play or what not to play. It just kind of happens pretty naturally and kind of easily, because when I write, I pretty much hear in my head sort of what they're going to do, except they usually come up with something I like better. But
and when when you go into the very beginnings of a session, do you have a preconceived notion of what you want the finished album to either sound like, or a story that it's going to tell, or does that take care of itself as the
usually
sessions
takes
go?
care of itself. We did that one. We did Southern Rock Opera record. Right. We had all these very specific preconceived notions, and it about killed us, I think.
Yeah, we'll never do that again.
yeah. It made it not fun, because we were trying to do something really ambitious on about $5,000, literally, and we had no money at all to do it on, and so it was brutal. But most of the time since then, it's gone pretty smooth. We've had a road, bumpy road or two here or there, but like this one was idyllic in the studio. We had just nothing but a lot of fun making this record and the one before it.
And I don't mean to get ahead now with the new album just out today. But you're in a prolific phase right now. I mean, are there already some new songs that are beginning to?
No,
not really.
No,
I think this is the end of the prolific phase for a while. I think we're going to tour real hard behind this one, and then take our time figuring out what to do after that.
Yeah, if I write anything, I'm going to keep it a secret for a little while. I need to rest.
Do you write on the road, or is it always a time when you're home? You can't do it.
I've never been able to do it.
I got lucky a couple of times on this last record, but it's rare. It's really hard. There's just, because in addition to the shows every night, we also have radio things we do and record store things we do and promo stuff of all kinds, and so there's just no time out there.
You can still find record stores to.
There's
Unfortunately, not around this neck of the woods. There aren't as many as
that's a shame.
There should be, but. Drive-By Truckers with me, Patterson Hood and Mike Cooley specifically, and the rest of the band. For those who aren't, maybe new to you guys, who fills out the rest of the ensemble?
Well, there's Shauna Tucker plays bass, and she writes also, and she's got a couple of really good ones on this record, and then Brad Morgan, who plays drums, and John Neff plays guitar and pedal steel, and then Jay Gonzalez plays keyboards and a little accordion, and even the saw if necessary.
Drive-By Truckers' new album out today. It's called Go-Go Boots, and remember, they're playing tonight at Bowery Ballroom, and you can catch them on TV on Jimmy Fallon tonight, and then Thursday night in Westchester and Peekskill at Paramount Center for the Arts. Another song?
Sure. Hopefully my voice will cooperate a little better than it did on his just a minute ago. All right. I wrote this song about a really, really scary guy I knew back home, and it's called "Used to Be a Cop." Used to be a cop, but I got to be too jumpy. Used to like to party till I coughed up half a lung. Sometimes late at night I hear the beat a bumping. I reach for my holster and I wake up all alone. Used to have a wife, but she said she couldn't handle. Said she couldn't stand the way I fidget all the time. Sometimes late at night I circle around the house
house. I look through the windows and I dream that you're still mine. I got scars on my arms from the way my daddy raised me. Used to have a family until I got divorced. Too far to turn back from these things that can save me. I used to be a cop till they kicked me off the force. I used to be a cop till they kicked me off the force. Used to have a car, but the bank came and took it. I'm paying for a house that lives in now. With children that we had who won't even look at me. Guess there's nothing left to lose, nothing matters anyhow. Got scars on my arms from the bullet that once grazed me. I keep it in a box to remind me where I've been. The thin blue line's the only thing that can save me. I used to have a badge till they made me turn it in. And I used to play football, but I wasn't big enough for college. And I passed the entrance exam, first trying on my way. Police Academy gave me the only thing I was ever any good at, but my temper and the shakes, and they took that thing away. Have a wife, but she said she couldn't stand the anger and the tension that was welling inside me. Sometimes late at night I circle around the house. I look through the windows and I dream of how it used to be. I look through the windows and I dream of how it used to be. I look through the windows and I dream of how it used to be.
Drive-By Truckers, Patterson, Hood, and Mike Cooley here with us at WFUV and another new song. That is Used to Be a Cop, and it is on the new album out today, Go-Go Boots, and available on CD and vinyl, which is a good thing. And
yes, vinyl.
And vinyl's making a nice little comeback, actually. So it seems like everything now will come out on vinyl.
Yeah, we're so glad of that. That's been like, I never quit buying it. It just got really hard to find for a while, but now it's getting easier again.
And the actual physical, 12 by 12 size of a vinyl album really fits in with the packaging and artwork of Drive-By Truckers Records. Tell us about the artist who does the artwork on your albums.
That's Wes Freed. We've been friends for a long time now, since the beginning of the band, really. He's in Richmond, Virginia. He and his wife Jill, and they invited us up to play a monthly show they put together called Capital City Barn Dance.
God,
they would
97 or
97,
something.
Somewhere around there. And we stayed at their house and got familiar with Wes's artwork. He had a ton of it all over his house at the time, and just fell in love with the stuff. And we knew then that we wanted him to do something, and he's done everything. He's done every album, and in between albums, he's doing posters for shows. He's got a pretty amazing body of work just on what he's done for us alone. Quite a bit of it. It's really unique. It's become as much a part of our thing as the songs,
Right. Kind of like Neon Park's artwork for Little Feat.
Right.
Yeah.
Same with you guys. And looking through the notes here, you make it a point to honor two friends who passed, Byron Wilkes and Vic Chestnut.
Right. Did Vic ever come play here? Did he ever do one of these?
Yes, he has. It had been a while, I think, but Vic was here, maybe more than once actually. And you make it a point to pay tribute to the two friends who passed while this record was being made. Yeah,
Byron was a friend from back home, and actually from our hometown, from Muscle Shoals area of Alabama, and he actually did artwork for a project we did once too. When we did Southern Rock Opera, he did the illustration of George Wallace it was like a Rat Fink style George Wallace with like flames coming up from his wheelchair, and Byron was a character, and he passed away pretty suddenly the summer before last, and then. Of course, Vic, I live in Athens, Georgia, and Vic's I think one of the greatest songwriters of our time, of our generation, and maybe if I had to pick one, maybe the greatest songwriter of our generation. And he passed away on Christmas Day last year, or year before last, and our town. It's going to take a long time to recover from it. We're pretty heartbroken about it.
Cowboy Junkies have a new album out, and it's all Vic Chestnut tunes.
Yeah,
they're doing these series of albums called the Nomad Series, and Volume 2, which I think is out now, is called Demons, and it's all Vic Chestnut songs.
Yeah, I'll have to get that. I want to hear that. His songs are hard to cover because he had such a unique, bizarre phrasing, and we actually recorded a cover of his for I guess it's maybe iTunes bonus track or something. It's one of the bonus tracks from one of the configurations of our record. We covered When I Ran Off and Left Her, and it's just it's such an amazing song. And it's one of the easier ones to sing, but a lot of his are really, I can't hardly comprehend singing them.
Right. You also make mention of Eddie Hinton in the notes. Any cover.
Yeah, there's two Eddie covers on there, and we've never covered an artist on one of our official records because with three writers in the band, there's usually no shortage of material, and there certainly wasn't any shortage this time. But we did a couple of Eddie Hinton songs for this like tribute series of 45s actually that came out of Ohio about a year or so ago, and it was in the middle of recording this project, and recording those two songs kind of inspired new songs. It was like one of those things where it kind of opened a door and kind of followed down that hallway and ended up with about half of the record came out of things that were inspired by recording those two Eddie Hinton songs. So we decided to include them on the record, and it's kind of almost like the centerpiece of the record, having that.
Right. Patterson Hood and Mike Cooley from Drive By Truckers are here. Can I get you to do one more song for us?
Sure. I don't know if my voice will work for this. I'm going to try. I'll try to do that Eddie Hinton song since we were just talking about him, and I hope it doesn't mess him up in there because we told him we weren't going to do it. So hopefully this will work out okay. But yeah, this is a song Eddie wrote in probably the late 70s or actually I guess early 80s, and he was actually in a mental institution around the time that he wrote this song, and he had a pretty dark, kind of tragic life, but he wrote just incredible songs, and this song so kind of a positive, beautiful, uplifting song to have come out of such a horrendous time of his life. But it's called Everybody Needs Love. The moonbeams we
setting of the sun, and the stars we can wish upon when our working day is done. Sunsets we can cry over, have our troubles on the run. More than these miracles above, good people, we need love. Everybody needs a love, love, love. Everybody needs a love, 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 love. Everybody needs a love, love, love. Just like they need the sun and moon and stars up above. Ain't nobody ever found happiness living their lives all alone. Used to walk around like I didn't need nobody, make me happy and belong. One fine day found myself in trouble, way down, without a friend. Along came the love of a real fine woman, says she loves me till the end. Everybody needs a love, love, love. Everybody needs a love, 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 love. Everybody needs a love, love, love. Just like they need the sun and moon and stars up above. Everybody needs a love, love, love. Everybody needs a love, 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 love. Everybody needs a love, love, love. Just like they need the sun and moon and stars up above. Everybody needs a love, love, love. Everybody needs a love, 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 love. Everybody needs a love, love, love. Just like they need the sun and moon and stars up above. They need love. Everybody, everybody, everybody needs love. Everybody needs a love, 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 love. Love, 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 love. Ooh, ooh. Everybody, everybody, everybody needs love. Everybody, everybody, everybody needs love.
Patterson, Hood, and Mike Cooley from Drive-By Truckers here at WFUV. The brand new album, Go-Go Boots, is out today. And Drive-By Truckers will be at Bowery Ballroom tonight. And Jimmy Fallon, catch him on television tonight and Thursday night in Peekskill at the Paramount Center for the Arts. Patterson, Mike, thanks so much for visiting
you.
And hanging out with us here at WFUV this afternoon. And congrats on the new album, and have a great year of touring.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Let's hear another tune from the album. Here's Drive-By Truckers at Drive-By Truckers here at WFUV in New York. That is the title track from the new album out today, Go-Go Boots.
And catch them tonight. Well, the show's sold out, so if you have your tickets, have a good show. Enjoy. Bowery Ballroom, the place for drive-by truckers. Jimmy Fallon, late night with Jimmy Fallon. You'll catch him performing live. And then Thursday, drive-by truckers play the Peekskill, the Paramount Center for the Arts in Peekskill. And thanks to Patterson Hood and Mike Cooley of the Drive-By Truckers for visiting with me this afternoon. Again, that was Go-Go Boots, the title track from the brand new album out today from Drive-By Truckers. I'm Darren DeVivo with you on WFUV in New York.